Hey guys, it's Chris, and welcome to another episode of What the Heck Did You Get? I'm always adjusting myself in this chair. What are we doing? This is my Amiga 1200 with the AGA scan doubler. It allows you to have a VGA signal on your Amiga 1200, and it will do all of the modes through that. Now my monitor, the Dell U2410F, supports 15 and onward kilohertz. Haven't you done enough stuff to this Amiga? What do you got this time? So, in this box contains, I hope, something really cool. This is from Mr. Allen. So, Mr. Allen, here you are. Thank you. This is a TF1230. Not a 40, a 1230. So we're going to hopefully not cut myself. Inside we got a bag, some bubble wrap, and the card. It's got the old gold CPU. Ta-da! So here we go. TF1230, 64 megabytes of RAM. It says, predicted ignorant EAB comment. Terrible Fire 1230, A1200, 030 SD RAM, SJ Leary 2020 revision 1. Xilinx chip, 232 megabyte thingamabobbers, a 44 pin IDE header, a jumper for enable 030, and this is a 40, but supposedly it runs at 50? I don't know. Inside my Amiga, I have a Gotek and the AJ Scan Plus. So we're going to open the door here. Inside I have an Amiga Kit 8 meg FPU 40. Now hopefully this is the lower riser. I don't know. Sometimes I have to shave an end off to get her to fit properly. So let's check for fitment. Oh man, talk about to the end. Well, if you drop this card in here like I did, you're going to need a screwdriver to get it out. Yep, same problem as the other one. They didn't shave the end so it hits the stupid plastic thing. This Amiga Kit card had the same problem. So look what I had to do. I took a file and I had to kind of file down this end. Why? Because it was up high like this, and the edge of the 1200 right here, the little plastic lip, sits extremely close. Now you can mess with it and get it to go in, but it's just so much easier to take a little bit of the plastic off the one end, this end, that end, and see what you got. Now here's another problem I noticed. This CPU sits underneath the keyboard. I can't heat sink it. I can't cool it. Great. Is that how the 060 one is too? So I'm going to do the next non-best thing, and I'm going to take the lid off and do it that way. So here we go. We're removing the plastic case. These wires are for my Gotek screen. I'm just going to lift the keyboard and kind of just fold her straight on back with a new ribbon. So here's my 3.2 ROMs. This is the Amiga Kit clock sensor, and I have the little sticky thing that's stuck to my Alice chip because, I don't know, that seemed to want to stick a while ago and didn't. And you can see how it just won't fit. Won't fit at all. It's too low. So I can undo my screws and lift up my board, which is the stupidest thing ever. But I guess if you're never in here, you can raise it up just a tickle. Maybe. Yeah. Just enough to get her in there. How about that? There we go. Good Lord. It'll sit in here like so. We'll have access to the IDE, which I have a compact flash direct mount, 32 gig SanDisk Extreme, Bob's your uncle. It is not plugged in, so I'm going to fold the keyboard back over ever so carefully, and the case lid ever so carefully. And we're just going to see if we get a boot screen in my stuff. This should allow for PCM CIA usage. Okay, so we're on VGA. We're going to turn it on. Lights come on. I'm going to turn this overhead off. Hard drive is booting. And then we'll do the CPU and all the good stuff. Now I do have the Amiga Kit mouse that requires like its own crazy double reboot to work. I don't know why. It just does. We'll get a megahertz count. We'll see what it actually is. What it's got. Does it work? I don't know. Okay, 6830 processor was found. That's fine. I'm going to grab my Gotek disk and put the install 3.2 to put the drivers on. So we're rebooting. We're going to get the message about the CPU. 2 megs of chip, 65 megs of fast. Hells to the yeah. You know what's cool about that? This is CPU RAM, so it's not affected by the freaking the 8 meg. So all I'm doing in this is just putting on the CPU libraries. We're going to install the CPU support libraries. This card does not have an FPU, by the way. Remove your stuff, and we're going to press reboot. So now it's going to reboot off of the hard drive again, and it will have the proper libraries. Okay, so I have a mouse, 2 megs of chip, or 1.8, 65 megs of fast. Let's open a shell. I am in a multi-scan mode, by the way. See that? CPU is a CPU. Whoops, of course it is. CPU is 6830 MMU, fast RAM. Let's check the sensors display here. We're at 90 degrees, 4.98 volts on my battery, 78 internal temperature. Not bad. Alright, let's run a normal sysinfo. I don't know which version this is. 4.0. 6804. I gotta put the newer one on there. My apologies, but speed 51 megahertz says acceleration. We're rocking at 9,313 dry stones, 9 MIPS, no megaflops, as no FPU. Check that out. 17 times faster than an A600, or 7.65 times faster than the previous machine it was. We're going to go to memory. Here's the important part. 64 megabytes of 32-bit fast RAM, 2 megs of 24-bit DMA chip. So, with 64 megs of RAM, I should just be able to take a compact flash card and put it in and have it work. Why? Because it's not limited to the... You can't see that. It is not limited to the memory limitation. The 4 megabyte, 8 megabyte crap. Since it's CPU RAM, everything's just there. Isn't that awesome or what? So, I believe I have sys speed on here. Sysinfo 51 megahertz. If I'm running AIBB, okay, that's great. Won't let me do 60 or 30, but I can't do like the beach ball because it's in standard processor math. It's like okay, but it's not like it should be. An FPU would hoss this thing through. So it can't do the extended math calculations it needs. Are you going to be using this for that? No, you're not. You know you're not. You're just going to be using it for iGame. So this was horrid. Totally horrid. So yeah, we're still better than a 1200, okay? Because we're 50 megahertz. That's cool. Dry stones, normal stuff will be on standard processor math, and it should be okay. So there's me. Here's a stock 1200. We're faster than my 030. 25 megahertz, and we're about 3/4 of a way to the 040. That's cool. Anyway, we're gonna quit that. Let's do something that you would just do because that's what you want to do. Let's see. On a plus note, with more memory, I can load backdrops now. Well, I don't need a mouse or a joystick for this. Like hit E for everything. And get like everything, which was cool. E. There you go. And you get like the bombs and stuff. Now this has a really cool soundtrack. So, you know, I'm just playing games. And then pow. I love that. What was the quick key? F10? Cool. So, I mean, for what it is, it's cool. Yeah, I can't see because this is not in PAL. So let's do this. We're going to reboot it. And we're going to double finger. And space bar. This should go up because it is a PAL support. Give it a second to adjust. There we go. Return for 31 kilohertz modes. So PAL 31 kilohertz. I just get so excited for my technology, the new technology. Now there's nothing wrong with this card, except they, I don't know, it doesn't have a CPU, so this is subject to the 4/8 flip for RAM. That's fine, but it has a really fast FPU. Alright, so I'm just booting off of a sysinfo disk. ADF, copied to my USB. So sysinfo 4.4, I don't know why it looks weird. We're going to go to drives, and I'm going to hit speed on DH0. I only got 30 buffers. I can crank that up now. 1.6 meg. DH1, 1.6 meg. That's about as good as you're going to get on the stock card. I found a 2.5 inch cable. Going to remove this, fold this back. Going to remove this, fold this back, plug this into here. It is keyed. Okay, so it's been a couple hours. I had to cut the grass. I'm using WinUAE in administrator mode. Right click, run as administrator. Added the drive in that little yucky compact flash adapter to here, and I'm just making a folder on my shared folder that I set up to back up the 1200. Now, what I'm going to do in the meantime, while that is doing its thing, is this is one of those inexpensive Chinesium 44 to SDs, and my fingernail is black, not because I painted it as a shark's fin. I slammed it in the car door because I'm an idiot. Pin 1 is based on this little weird notch here, so it's kind of stupid. And we're going to plug that in like that, and this is going to look stupid. I don't know how it's going to stay in here and be good. I guess it would just fold in here like, I don't know, you know. I'm just doing this to see what's up. In the meantime, I'm going to remove this adapter entirely. We're going to boot off the GoTech. I just want to see what we got. Let me copy DH1. There we go. Put this in. This is a 32 gig card of I don't know. And I'm just going to close this up and let it kind of just sit here. We'll be able to see lights, and maybe I have it on backwards. You never know. Yep, that looks just wonderful. I'm just going to pop the install in here just so I can see what's up. Energize. You know what helps? Plugging it in. There's our light. So we should get a ROM screen here in a second. Okay, so 3.2 ROM kickstart. I'm going to put a disk in. We're just going to do HD setup 3.2. It's a disk you get with your 3.2 set while that's still copying. Because then I got to take this card out once I MBR it into 2 partitions, and then I'll copy the stuff back. But I need something MBR set up. Yeah, can I do it on there? Maybe. I'm just doing it this way because it's more authentic to me. So we're booting HD setup 3.2 disk. It is very similar to HD Toolbox. I think that's a bootable HD Toolbox is all it is. So I don't know what the SCSI drive is for the Terrible Fire. I may have to look that up, but we're going to see. Well, it's stuck on something, so I don't know. Maybe it uses SCSI.device. I am not sure. I've seen no blinking on the card here either. What I'm doing is I'm looking at this for any kind of activity. Boy, this is slow as dirt. Okay, so we don't have anything. So let me see what the SCSI.device name is. I'm digging it up over here. We'll find something out. Okay, so I just wedged this thing right in here. I don't know if it's going to fit. Probably not. Look at that. That is, well, you know, on a plus note, the compact flash card will hold it up. This wouldn't show up at all. And there we go. The compact flash card will help hold the card up itself. let's just see what happens. I'm going to just turn this on. This has no lights, and we get nothing. So, does this thing even work? Does this card reader, hard drive, IDE port, is it bootable? What is the reasoning behind this? Nothing. Nothing at all. Small updates. I put some thermal tape on the 030 and stuck the temperature probe from the Amiga kit sensor on the CPU. This thing's turning into a little Frankenstein. Heat sinks and things. So I hooked up the original compact flash card. I got this one just hanging out here, so that way I can do what I need to do, like booting the unit or whatever. It's gonna be, you know, looking factory. But that way I can boot the unit up and, you know, at least have it functioning normal. Once it boots, I'm gonna reboot it. I'm gonna double mouse button and see what I see. Okay, boot options sees my hard drive, expansion board, nothing. It doesn't see nothing in expansion boards. Why is that? So we have power on this card. It has power. My workbench is loading off the internal hard drive. So all that folding broke my membrane in one little spot. If I hold it, it's fine. Everything's fine. Yay. Just gotta let go. Good to go. Right underneath here. I'm gonna put a piece of hard tape on it. No more folding it over. Okay, so I just put some box tape right here. If you're gonna use box tape, make sure you get a big roll, unwrap it, and then drop it on the floor so it rolls halfway across the floor. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm basically just doing this and rolling this file to make a little, just enough of an edge to be able to slide like I did this one. Took a little bit more off on this card, but very similar. This should work now. We're going to double check it. Now this is a full-size card, so it's actually hard to do one-handed. Okay, it goes in. Out. Ugh. And in. Takes a little bit of a wiggle. She's not 100%, but, you know. Now we're going to put our tape job back on. We're back to square one. I need to look into getting one of them hard membranes. Let's fire it up with ATK. Make sure we get our keyboard first. Does caps lock light work? Nope, my caps lock light doesn't work. It says it's on, but that could be membrane related too. I don't know. F9 is my only key that doesn't work because I don't have a plunger on the bottom. It's just kind of, it's Wi-Fi. No IDE, and I don't know why it won't work, but I don't care. It'd be nice to have it working, but I'll have to figure that one out. You know, I have like 5 or 6 or 10 of these rando cards for the 1200, and I like testing them. Oh, piss. I took my sensor wire off. Dagnabbit. All this because I wanted to copy that sys info that I put on a DH1. Take this, copy it to RAM, and then the boards, copy that to RAM, and then I go DHOC, and I take these two and move them there. That way when I write Amiga E, sysinfo, whoops, it works, and I have the latest one. So, is the board working? 64 megs of RAM. It is. Speed is going to be in the toilet. Well, no. Speed is 50 megahertz here. No FPU. 51.8. Sensors display. No CPU temp. Excuse me, because it's right here in my hand. I don't know what the deal is with these. It runs fine. It seems to run totally nice. The problem is it doesn't show the boards. So here, boards, nada. I don't know how to show it, so I have to look that up. So besides that, am I pleased with the board? It does what it says, 65 megs of RAM. It is a 50 megahertz 030 for the 1200. It has no FPU, which kind of stinks. But for gaming and some nice AGA demos and some RAM and the PCM CIA availability with full memory, yeah, it's worth it. What did I pay for it? I forget. I think it was 160 bucks US plus shipping. That's not right. But, you know, it could be these tools. So this is the latest one. We can run the original Witch Amiga and see what it says. Now this one will say, yep, same thing, 6.5 megahertz. So that's why I rely on a multitude of testing tools. So all the benchmark tools from AIBB is a good one to test. That'll tell you your megahertz pretty accurately. So 50 megahertz. Unable to firmly determine the difference between the 030 or EC on this system due to some constraints, or due to memory constraints or some form of existing MMU. Now remember, I have the MMU libs on 3.2 running, but no boards. That is just weird. And that's probably the reason why I'm not seeing the IDE port, but it works for what I use it for. I need to do some homework. So I'm going to do some homework and report back. It may be a little bit. I might be wearing a different shirt. I did cut the grass. Maybe my fingernail will be heated up. So I'm going to do some research on this, but this has been the Terrible Fire TF1230 for the Amiga 1200. So I have to look at that and see what's going on. There's some posts on Terrible Fire's website here, so we'll see. That's all I got for now. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you learned something.